Hello and welcome back to TST. If you're new to the channel, tap on the subscription button and press the notification bell so you can receive news and updates that you can rely on daily. Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi says, "I'm against payroll tax cut in the next coronavirus bill." On Monday's broadcast of CNN's Situation Room, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said she is opposed to including a payroll tax cut in the next coronavirus relief bill. Host Wolf Blitzer asked, "So, is a payroll tax cut okay from your point of view?" Pelosi responded, "No, it is not." She added, "First of all, this is all to be related to the coronavirus. We have enormous costs, most of it incurred because the president was in denial early on, delayed a reaction to it, and caused deaths. And so now we want to say, okay, that was then. All right, let's start now and do things in a positive way. Nobody's putting anything on the table saying, unless we have this, we're not doing that. He shouldn't either." Take a watch.
The president said about all your plans on Sunday. Listen to this.
You know, they want bailouts for the states, the Democrats, and really it's a number of states that frankly have not been managed well by Democrats over a long period of time. So we have to be very careful about that. Very careful. But we will be doing infrastructure. And I told Steve just today, we're not doing anything unless we get a payroll tax cut.
So is a payroll tax cut okay from your point of view,
No,
or is it a non-starter?
No, it is not.
And if it is a non-starter, Madam Speaker, why is a payroll tax cut a non-starter?
First of all, this is all to be related to the coronavirus. We have enormous costs. Much of it incurred because the president was in denial early on, delayed a reaction to it, caused deaths. And so now we want to say, okay, that was then. All right, let's start now and do things in a positive way. Nobody's putting anything on the table and saying, unless we have this, we're not doing that. He shouldn't either. But apart from that, look at him saying these states want to be bailed out. The state they used as an example was Illinois, which got into fiscal problems because of a Republican governor who was governor there until Governor Pritzker has come to pull it out. So we're talking about life and death. We're talking about people dying. We're talking about people risking their lives to save people's lives. They're not talking about red state, blue state. We're talking about all America.
But what's wrong with the payroll tax cut?
What's right with we have $500 billion for state. 250, maybe 300 billion for local. This is a way for us. This is a way for us to address the situation. There are other things: direct payment, unemployment insurance, issues like PPP. There's a great deal of money that is being put out there in a way that helps businesses stay open. But not only that, let them have customers when they're open. So this is something that has been, we didn't just start this bill yesterday. This bill was what we were in the works with CARES 1. They did 150 for state and local. It wasn't enough. We're continuing that. And we did testing in our first bill March 4th and then testing last week, but we need more for that.
So if the president says, Madam Speaker, excuse me for interrupting, if the president says you could get most of what you want, but he wants a payroll tax cut, otherwise he's not going to sign it into law, what are you going to do?
Well, I'm not negotiating with the president on television right here, and he didn't say that. He started denigrating governors who are fighting the fight in their states to save lives and save livelihoods for their people there. And this, again, let me say this. Let me tell you about the enthusiasm of our Democrats and the knowledge that our brilliant chairs have about how to meet the needs of the American people, instead of answering the thing of the day that it spews forth from the White House. Right. This is about saving lives. This is not about a political
I understand what you're saying, and I want to move on to some other issues.
Okay,
but he did say, as I told Steve Mnuchin yesterday, he said we are not doing anything unless we get a payroll tax cut. So he's putting that down. Let's move on. I understand you don't want to discuss that.
Well, it's not a question of discuss it. There's no need drawing any red line in the sand. You posed if you got everything you wanted. Well, did he say that?
I'm saying that. I'm saying if you got most of everything you wanted, but he says he wants a payroll tax cut, would that be okay?
He didn't say that. He said, I'll give them anything they wanted for a payroll tax. He didn't say that.
No, he didn't say that. I said
You're doing a hypothetical. But let me just say this. I can't spend a whole lot of time on the quote of the day from the President of the United States. We have worked in a bipartisan way. We've had 4 bills pass the Congress of the United States, each and every one of them bipartisan. And we're very, very proud of that. We have worked together with our differences. We all didn't get everything we wanted. We had negotiations. We were proud to turn the CARES 1 from a corporate trickle down to a workers' first bubble up legislation. We were pleased in this last interim bill to have it be not just about PPP, which we are all supportive of and we're part of creating, but also to go to the underbanked, smaller businesses who did not have connections with banks. And not only that, $100 billion for hospitals and for testing. So again, we went from 250 to 484, and all that additional was for lower income, underbanked, smaller businesses, minority, women, Native American, veterans, rural, smaller businesses who couldn't compete in the larger banking arena. And it was a big improvement. We're going to see what the results are, but whatever it is, we made progress, maybe not enough, and we'll just have to see where we go from here.
All right,
but we had bipartisanship every step of the way, and we didn't do it by threatening each other, but by sharing values of saving lives, saving livelihoods of the American people.
Speaking of bipartisanship, you and the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, you rejected an offer from the Trump administration of 1,000 coronavirus tests for members of Congress. If your work is going to help pass relief, more relief for a lot of American workers, frontline workers and others, why not accept those tests?
Because they don't have them. The fact is that we have said that the test should go to those on the front line who have direct communication with contending with this. Our physician, our Capitol physician, has said we don't need to have them in terms of the exposure that we have. We're not, the testing organization said to us, you're not next. We can bump you in line and push other people out of the way, but you're not next in terms of essential workers for this. So if any individual member in their own privacy, I'm not going into their lives, has a need for a test, then that's up to the doctor to determine. But we're not going to say, we have custodians in the Capitol, we have people who work with thousands of people who make the Congress function, making this happen, again, protecting us as well as keeping it safe in terms of this virus. But outside, our first responders and the rest, they should be getting this before we do. And I don't know, there's one member of Congress who says, I want to have a test before my constituent who really needs one gets one, because I should be more important than that. I was very pleased that we were able to do that in a bipartisan way, House and Senate.
That was certainly bipartisan indeed. I know you got a lot going on. Thanks so much for joining us, and thanks also for that face mask you have around your neck. I know you just flew back from California, and you were telling me you wore that the whole flight. Is that right?
The whole flight. I had to sip water underneath, but yeah, the whole flight. And everybody on the plane had on face masks, including the crew, and that's I highly recommend it. But the thing is that it breaks your heart to hear the stories, and the matter of life and death, so sad. And again, the heartbreak of people with a dream for a small business, an idea, and the rest, and then see it fade. We want to make sure that what we do is for those who truly need it, and that we will get through this in a way that has ended some of the disparities. We have frozen access to credit for some people, and now with this bill, we can open some of that up. So whether it's access to credit or access to care, we want to be sure that, as sad as this all is, that we make progress in terms of, and where I began, with the ethics of it all, that it's available to all Americans.
Madam Speaker, thank you so much for joining us. I know you're incredibly busy. We're grateful to you for spending a few moments here in the Situation Room. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Take care.
You too.
Thank you to CNN for all you're doing to spread the word.
Thank you very much, and good luck to you.
Does she mean a payroll tax cut is unrelated? There are many who lost their jobs, but the few fortunate people still on payroll are still having to keep track of every penny spent. They don't have the millions Pelosi has to buy themselves $24,000 freezers and over a dozen pints of gourmet ice cream. They can only think of spending on necessities because hard-working Americans want to live. They want food on the table and keep their roofs over their heads. They want their business going. That's all they can ever think of right now. A payroll tax cut will definitely help them save more money to keep them fed and clothed and running. It's a no-brainer. It will definitely help everyone. And it's now more than ever that a payroll tax cut is needed the most. Well, guess what's not related? The $25 million to the Kennedy Center, which was supposed to be turned into a COVID response center, but it never did. The sanctuary states and cities bailout, which is completely out of question. It never was corona-related. And all the pork Pelosi tries to stuff in each and every bill. That's what's not related.
Share your thoughts and responses in the comments down below. If you've liked this report, let us know by tapping that like button down below, share the news among friends and family, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more news and updates on TST. I'm David Ravine, and I'll see you in the next one.